It's Chelsea with the Heart AF podcast. Hope you guys are all doing well. Look, the holidays are upon us. It's busy. And I really wanted to take the time to talk about how we can keep our peace among family gatherings and doing all the things, because we tend to feel like we have to say yes to everything. There's all these parties and get-togethers and family gatherings, kids' plays, performances, class parties. They need parent volunteers for all these things. And it can be very overwhelming. It can be very draining. And also the holidays, again, can be a very emotional time, especially if you're somebody who is still grieving or has lost somebody. The holidays just bring up a lot of emotions and frustrations, and there's mile-long to-do lists. So you're really just stressing out constantly. Like, there's just so much going on that it's really easy to be overstimulated, to find yourself in situations where you're overcommitted, you're run down, you're tired, and you're not making time for yourself, and you're just drained. I'm here to tell you that it's okay to tell people, peace out, right? You really need to learn how to protect your energy and protect your peace, because that is important. Because you don't want to show up to a gathering where there are people in the room that you love, and you're showing up as this uncared for self, this self that is stressed to the max, who can't be fully present, who hasn't been taking care of themselves. So you're showing up as probably not your most lovable self, right? Like, when you are neglecting yourself, you are usually irritable, you're usually angry, you're usually closed off, you're not present, you're not able to give your loved ones your best self. So that's why it's important to set boundaries and learn what you can do to make it through this holiday season in one piece, and also with peace, right? Peace within yourself, peace with the people you decide to be around, and learning how to do that when everybody's asking for your attention. Everybody needs you, and you need yourself, right? You need you. So it's time to bring it back to number one and making sure that you're taking care of yourself first, so that you can do the things that you choose to do. And that's a big piece of this, is learning to know that you do have a choice in everything. You have a choice to say no. You have a choice to make compromises. You have a choice to cut out toxic people from your life. You have a choice to keep your peace. Okay, so let's break down what this looks like and what we can do when we're in these scenarios where we need to protect our peace. The first thing is really knowing that you can say no. You are not responsible for other people's feelings. So I know a lot of times certain friends or family members might try to guilt trip you into doing something, right? Whether it's asking a favor of you, maybe they're asking you to pick them up at the airport, or it could be, insisting that you make something to this gathering, or that you have to be at this certain gathering. It's okay for you to say no. And it's also okay for you to not to respond right away. So often people like to ask you things to where you're pressured to want to say yes right away. And I want you to practice taking a moment that when somebody asks you something, to really pause and say, let me think about it. It's a really easy way, like, make that your go-to, let me think about it. So you do have time to really check out your calendar, check what other obligations you've scheduled for yourself. Like, what does your schedule really look like? And see if you are actually available to do whatever it is they're asking of you, whether it's inviting you to a dinner, or inviting you to a party, or inviting you to come see their kids play, or asking you to bring this side dish to an event, or whatever it is. See if it really works with your schedule. And then ask yourself, is this really something that you have the energy to give? Okay, because it's okay to say no, and it's okay to protect yourself. So if it's going to overly stress or over cramp your schedule to go do whatever it is they're asking, you can say, no, I'm really sorry, I don't have time, or I'm not available at that time. I'm not going to be able to do that. I have a prior engagement. There's so many things that you can say that is kind, but also sets the boundary that, no, I can't do this. Some people might get upset, and it's okay, right? Again, I know this can be harder with people that we really love, like family members. They may try to guilt trip you, like, oh, I really wanted you to come pick me up at the airport, or, I was really hoping you could come. I really wanted you to be there. Oh, it's just not going to be any fun if you're not there. Those kinds of things. It doesn't matter. You are not responsible for how they feel. Okay. No matter how much guilt they want to lay on you, you do not have to carry that. That is not on you. That is them. They need to figure their shit out. It's not your responsibility to placate them and make their happiness. And that's their responsibility. It's not yours. Your responsibility is keeping your peace and keeping your happiness. You really have to build yourself up and protect yourself from that. There are so many people out there who want to manipulate and gaslight you and turn their feelings on to put it all on you and put on your shoulders that it's your responsibility. And it's not. That is not okay. That is not loving. No, nope, 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 nope. That is toxic. So make sure you know that you love yourself too, right? You love yourself and you are going to protect yourself. And it's okay to say no. And it's okay to let them feel however they're going to feel about it. And you really just have to let that shit go. You cannot carry that. There's kind of this energy technique, kind of like where you can literally just wipe it off of your like aura, if you will, like your energy, like wipe that negative energy like off you. You can literally do these wiping motions with your hands, and that act, brushing it off of you, really does help kind of take whatever they're trying to put on you away. Actually, that reminds me, I do have a YouTube video that will be linked into this podcast where I'm going to give you some affirmations to help really give you that confidence and make sure that you are affirming and deserving of keeping the peace and knowing that it is not your responsibility. Like, you have to get in that mindset. So I've got this affirmation list for you to really build upon that and set your mindset right to make sure that you are like coming into this season prepared and knowing how to keep your peace. Okay. So look out for that video that I will be posting the link to in the description of this podcast. Again, protecting your energy and setting your intentions. If you really want to get through this holiday with having fun and enjoying time with your loved ones, set that intention. Set that intention with everything you're doing. Like, take your time. Like, you don't need to rush. You don't need to buy a gift for everyone. Like, I would hate when I was with this one group of friends and this one woman every year was just going on and on about how stressed she is and how she had to buy presents for like every single person in her family. And I'm sorry, but you do not have to do that. If you need to say something ahead of time to make it known that, hey, we're just buying gifts for our kids this year, or hey, let's do a name drawing. That way everybody just buys one gift and everybody gets a gift, right? So then nobody's left out. So do this, especially if you're having a get together where there's going to be presents exchange. Do a name drawing. Like, it's so easy. It's so simple. People feel like we have to buy gifts just to buy gifts, right? And it's just so ingenuine and there's no thought put into it. It's just you're buying crap that doesn't really get used, right? Like, how much have you gotten these gifts, right? Where people just give you a gift and it's nice to get a gift, right? But then it's something that either you never open, you never use, or it just gets put in a section of your house that builds up with clutter and you end up giving it to Goodwill or donating it or putting it at a garage sale or re-gifting it, something to that effect, right? So really be intentional with your gifts. Like, yes, it's the season of giving, but it doesn't necessarily mean things, right? People value your time, and give your time to those that you want to give it to and spend it with. Like, don't feel obligated to give your time where you know you're not going to enjoy yourself. There's so many times where we run into these, negative situations, or we're putting ourselves into these toxic environments and we really don't need to. Like, you can say no. So bring me back to what I was saying at the beginning is you do have the power to choose and you have the power to say no. Like, no is such a magical word. Like, it's okay to say no. It's okay to say, hey, this year we're doing an intimate Christmas and I want to just spend it with my spouse and my kids this year. We're going to keep it a small family Christmas, but hey, we can still visit with you on Christmas Day and do like a meal or something, but we want to have Christmas morning to ourselves. I mean, there's ways to set boundaries. There's ways to kind of come to this compromise. So if there's people that are vying for your time or wanting you and you don't have that much to give, right? I want this to be the year where you set those boundaries and you make compromises instead of depleting yourself and trying to spread yourself too thin by doing everything that everyone's asking for you. Like, it's okay to say no. It's okay to come up with other ideas or solutions to where you can come to some kind of compromise where you're still able to give, the family member maybe what they want, but also keep your peace and get what you want as well. There's always this like pressure to do what especially like our parents, right? There's that parental pressure where we feel like we have to please them and we have to do what they want because we're like afraid of them for whatever reason. But when you're an adult, I'm sorry, you get to make your own decisions. Okay. You still love your parents, right? Hopefully they are showing you love. If it's a toxic parental relationship, it might be time to cut that out. That is okay too. But if it's a relationship that you want to keep, but you feel like there's a lot of pressure and these unrealistic expectations that are placed on you by somebody that you love and still want to have in your life, you have to set boundaries, learn to say no, and learn how to come up with compromises so that you're not draining yourself and compromising on your time and your self-care. It's just all about, communicating. And sometimes that can be hard, and it's hard to say no, and we've never done it. But I just really see so many times we come into the season where people are just like so stressed. People are assholes at the grocery store, even because everybody's in that state of just this chaotic stress. I have to do all the things, and I've got to do this, and I've got to do that, and I got to buy a gift for this person and all the teachers and all of it. It's like, you really don't. You really don't. You don't have to do all these things that you think you have to do. It's totally fine to be low key and focus on the people that you really care about and want to spend time with, which, it might not even be family. It could be really close friends that have really been there for you. Those are people that you want to give your energy and your time to, right? Because time is something that you can't get back, and time is precious. So you really do need to be more mindful of what you're spending your time on and making sure that you are, setting yourself up to spend your time where you want to spend it and cutting out the things that don't really matter. So, if your friend asks you to come see her daughter's play, it doesn't take away how much you care for them if you don't go, right? Like, you don't feel like you have to do all these things, right? Like, it's okay to say no. It's okay to say, sorry, I can't make it. It's totally fine. Setting time for yourself. This is another big thing, is you really have to make sure that you set aside time for yourself and making sure you're still taking care of yourself, making sure you're blocking out your schedule and time to, take a walk by yourself, or making sure that you're having time to still like journal and be by yourself, or, making sure you can go run an errand by yourself where you're not like trying to micromanage a bunch of people, like running errands, with kids especially. That is like a nightmare, running errands, especially with small children. So, setting aside time blocks to where you can run some errands while you're on your lunch break, or while your kids are still at childcare or school, or asking a friend or a spouse or a family member to watch your kids while you go run an errand by yourself, and take your time and have a coffee, or find resources and find ways so you're not adding extra stress, and really just making sure that you are taking the time to take care of yourself and asking yourself, what do I really want to do? Like, maybe you want to have a lazy day where you're just baking, goodies with your kids in the kitchen, and you don't want to go to like a party. You don't have to go to a party. Like, say no. Like, it's totally fine. Like, don't feel obligated to like that you have to make an appearance. Don't feel obligated to volunteer for your kids, winter party. Like, buy a package of cookies at the store and send them with your child. Like, I mean, you can find ways to minimize the work you have to do and minimize your stress. Like, it's totally fine to be low key and, low stress about stuff. Like, I think it's just ridiculous when we just really try to meet these unrealistic expectations, or feel like we have to make homemade all these things, or make gifts for everybody, or making sure we go out and get every teacher a gift. Like, no, honestly, you can go buy like a package of like Starbucks gift cards that's like $5 each, hand those out. Like, it's super easy. Like, you really don't have to overcomplicate it. I'm all about efficiency and getting things done. And again, only doing things that you feel called to do, that you really want to do. You shouldn't feel obligated to give your kids' teachers presents. But if you feel like you want to because you appreciate them and you want to show your appreciation, then find something that's going to be really easy for you to do. Again, like the gift card thing, or just writing a little note. Like, sometimes just writing a handwritten note, like taking like 30 minutes and getting a stack of like cards from the dollar store or whatever, and just like taking a time to just say thank you to the teachers, like that is meaningful, right? Like, there's so many different things that you can do that's not going out and just like trying to figure out what the best gift is for everybody. A handwritten note, I feel like, goes a long way for many people that you may want to give a gift to this season. Again, I really just want to reiterate that you can say no, that you have choices, that you need to protect your energy and protect your peace. Like, sometimes that means cutting toxic people out of your life. I know it's a hard thing to do, but let me tell you, your peace and your well-being is totally worth it. Like, I've had to block family members this year. It was a very hard choice, but I knew that that's what I had to do to protect my energy, because I just wasn't going to get dragged down by these toxic people. I didn't need that, right? Like, I don't need to be dragged into their drama and whatever they're dealing with. I let them know, like, hey, when you're ready to face the truth and ready to deal with what is actually going on instead of just lying about it and causing all this drama, I'll be here for you when you're ready to like work on that. But until then, I don't have anything else to say. And the person just kept wanting to attack me and like bring me down and trying to just overly dramatic. And I just was like, okay, like I didn't even say anything back after that. It's like I already said my piece and I blocked them. I'm not dealing with it, right? Like I don't need to take on your stuff. I've got my own shit to worry about. So goodbye. Like, good day, sir. And that's okay. You can do that with family members or friends. Like if there is somebody who is eating away at you and eating away at your peace, like it's okay to cut them out of your life. There's different ways you can do that. So if somebody is trying to push your buttons, maybe they are questioning you or being passive aggressive with you. Like maybe you are trying to change and trying to stand up for yourself more and set these boundaries like I'm talking about, and you're saying no, and you're trying to come up with compromises, and you are using your power to make choices, and people are going to be resistant to that. They like the old you. They like the you that they can walk all over and that they can get what they want from you, right? And when that starts changing, they're going to start challenging you. When people challenge you, when they're pushing your buttons and trying to get under your skin and trying to create a reaction out of you, again, I want to let you know you have the power, right? Don't let them take your power by getting all riled up and upset about it, right? Take a breath, pause, and either take time to respond or don't respond at all. Like you owe them nothing. You don't have to explain yourself. If they are really just trying to put you down or question you, or if they're trying to say things to you that are having you question and doubt yourself, you need to excuse yourself. You need to cut ties with this. And it doesn't mean that you're necessarily blocking them or cutting them out of your life forever, but there are ways to handle yourself so that you're not getting all upset and frustrated. It's okay to not respond. So if it's not a face-to-face confrontation, let's say they're texting you or maybe they're calling you, and don't answer, right? Don't answer the call. You don't have to respond to their text, or you can take some time and maybe think of a way to respond to them in a kind manner, or to give them a general answer where you're not responding to what they're trying to get you to respond to, right? Like you're avoiding that confrontation, or I should say, you're not engaging with how they're trying to challenge you. You're not engaging with how they're trying to pick a fight with you, essentially, right? Like you do not have to fight with them. This is not a fight. This is you choosing yourself, choosing to love yourself, and choosing to give yourself peace rather than showing up by being this drained, stressed out person you don't like to be. Like you want to enjoy this season with the people that you love, and that means saying no and choosing where you spend your time. And when people want to challenge you and make you feel bad, that's their problem. That's them like going through whatever they need to process. You don't have to deal with that. That is not yours to figure out for them. So again, you can ignore them. You can take some time and respond more thoughtfully in a neutral manner. You can do what I call, like, let's say it's an in-person confrontation. Maybe they're like trying to like attack you. It's a technique called gray rock. So gray rock means you're not showing emotion. You're standing your ground. So there was a situation where this happened with somebody once, and I had set some boundaries and they didn't like it. And they were like trying to talk circles around me and trying to intimidate me. And I just stayed neutral. I just stayed doing what I was doing. They were trying to interrupt me and engage me. And I just did not engage back. I just stood my ground. I didn't react. Like I didn't give my power away. It wasn't a time for me to like, scream back and like, they were trying to say things to hurt me. And I just kind of stayed focused on whatever I was doing in that moment and not giving them that attention. And eventually they stopped. Right. And then it was later they approached me and we were able to have a more adult conversation about it and get to a solution, right? So there are people who might try those tactics, and stay in your power and know that you don't have to give in to those emotions or frustrations. And sometimes that can be really challenging and hard. And I would like to challenge you to really like take control and stand your ground and stay in your power. And let's say it does elicit some emotions for you. If you can do your best to just like not show the person in the emotion that you're having this like confrontation or conflict with, and then excusing yourself to a bathroom or somewhere private where you can then, cry or scream into a pillow or whatever you need to do, just be like, to let out the actual emotions you are feeling, and then reminding yourself that this is them, this is not you, and you don't have to give that to them, right? Like you losing your cool, you losing your temper and snapping at them and then going on the defense, like that's throwing all the power back into their court. Keep the ball in your court and stand your ground and stay calm and neutral. And the best way I think to do that is really to practice these affirmations. And again, I'm going to send you that link in the description of the podcast for you to get that YouTube video where you can learn these affirmations. Say them again in your head, like recite them and get them in your head to change your mindset, to know that this is for you, this is for your peace, and making sure that you're able to give yourself a peaceful and stress-free, or as stress-free as possible holiday season where you're in control, you get to call the shots, you get to schedule your time how you see fit, how you don't have to take on anybody else's emotions or expectations, that you can really just focus on what you need, and being more conscious and mindful of where you're spending your time, where you're saying yes, what you're giving your time to, like what you're scheduling for yourself, making sure that it syncs up and aligns with where you really want to be, with where you really want to spend your time and energy, so that you're really recouping like the benefits of being able to keep that peace within you. And not only that, is when you show up to these events and gatherings as your peaceful, like joyful, bright self, because you are making time for your self-care and you're not overextending yourself, you're going to show up as this lighter, more beautiful, like peaceful version of yourself that people are going to be like attracted to. And it's also going to help other people around you calibrate to this more lightful and peaceful state. So you taking care of yourself and setting your boundaries and creating this peaceful space around you is really like a gift to others as well. So we're talking about gift giving. I mean, what better gift to give people than the gift of peace and light? You being the light and being peaceful is going to help others around you calibrate and be in that state of mind as well. So it's something that you're giving to other people by you giving to yourself. So keep these things in mind. Check out the YouTube video where I give you that affirmation, and I hope you listen to it. Get it into your head so that you can repeat those mantras and empower yourself and get into the right mindset to keep your peace through this season. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Let me know on social media if you took any great tips from this episode. Find me on Facebook or Instagram at chelsea.vanbuskirk. Please let me know what you took away, what was helpful, what was not, and I will see you guys next week. Peace.